Hi, welcome back or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Laura. Hi, hello, welcome. Today we are doing an update for my Pan Those Eyeshadows. I think I started this in December, so I would have like numerically the same month update as it was numerically for the month, if that makes sense. So I think we're on month 6, and this was a project that was first started by 𝙍𝙬𝙑𝙨. I have her channel linked up here and in the description box always, and I am doing my project mostly the same as Alexi, where I am randomly selecting the palette and then I am hand picking the shade that I'm working on. I'm also following suit with many other project panners who are following Lainey from Makeup with Lainey on a prompt style Pan Those Eyeshadows. And I'm only doing one shade the prompt based way, and then 4 of my shades are the random palette generating, and then I select the shade. And I've been really successful this year in this project, and I have some things rolling out of this project this month, which means we're rolling some stuff into this project. So always super exciting in my opinion when we have things rolling in and out. Before we talk about everything, here is the, oh man, this was a terrible place to swatch. I haven't filmed a Project Pan update in a while, but I'll have a picture go up right now of the color story that we were working with in the month of June. We had definitely more mattes to shimmers in this rotation, and I don't know who let me make that decision. I needed a chaperone for that update. Oh my gosh. So starting with this guy here, I don't know if by the last update I had decorated my palette or not. I think I did, but here is my slightly custom made Going Coconuts palette. So I am working on the shade Coolada in this project, but I am working on another shade in a different project, so I'm going to cover that up. But here's what we were looking like when we first rolled that shade in. I think this has been in for now this will be the 3rd month, and spoiler, we have not hit pan in this shade, unfortunately. So hopefully you can see the dip is pretty substantial in there. Like even just straight on, you can, I think, tell that there's definitely a dip in there. I feel like I filmed this update much quicker than I filmed my last update. I think I definitely dawdled in filming my May update. So we're seeing a lot less progress in usage in this because there's been a lot less time elapsed. Even though I filmed that video in May, you have seen it way later. This is also filmed like at the appropriate time for when my update is going up, so I can get back on track with my updates. So there is that. This is not out yet. We are still working on this. Then the next shade comes from this guy here. This is my Sweet Dreams palette by Sugar Drizzle, and this is a full shimmer palette. I rolled in a shade that I feel like I probably shouldn't have rolled in, if I'm being really honest. It is the shade Sweet Dreams. This palette was basically untouched when we first rolled it in. I maybe reached for one shade in the palette, so it was kind of like a I'm gonna guess which shade I'm gonna like the most kind of moment, and I ended up going with Sweet Dreams, and I think that it was a good move when I made it, but now I'm kind of like over this shade. It's similar to what I'm wearing right now. I have a lot of shades like this in my collection, I am realizing. It's not even a shade I was really drawn to. Like, these are shades I never used to wear, and now I'm like, ooh, I want these like pinky with orange and gold, like, and I don't know what's come over me. But this is what the shade is looking like now. I am not there. I'm not quite at pan. I was hoping to hit pan in it yesterday when I wore it. This is a totally different eyeshadow, even though it could very well be this palette. Is it this palette? Oh my gosh, what am I wearing today? No, I'm definitely wearing that shade Sweet Dreams today. That's embarrassing. She's sticking around. I honestly contemplated rolling this out because I think I have like 3 uses until I hit pan in this, but I feel like I won't reach for it if I put it back in my collection, you know? So we're just going to keep her in until I do it. After that, we have a shade from my Natasha Denona Zendo palette. And this palette, oh my goodness, I feel like I don't reach for it enough. But I have a couple pans in it from even not even being in a project, which is cool. But I had a shade that I maybe have used 2 times since I had purchased this palette. But I ended up going with a formula that I really, really like, and I know I'm pretty good at hitting pan in. So I ended up rolling in the shade Calm, which is one of her cream to powder formulas. It's a nice like coral, like a true peachy coral shade. It's beautiful. I wore it a lot with Sweet Dreams. So that's what we were looking like when we first rolled it into the project last month. And this is what Calm is looking like now. And I hope you can see she has pan, guys. I'm so excited about it. I ended up using this in multitasking this actually because I loved this as a blush. It looked so good as a blush. I flippin' loved it. So I would end up, when I used it on my eyes, I would always just use it on my cheeks. I was like, cool, I have a look that just looks cohesive. It looks put together. It looks great. And I loved reaching for it. So my pan is pretty well loved. I think you could see in that where it looks super textured. It's worn down pretty evenly from just tapping my brush in, but then there's obviously the center where I was reaching for it to use as an eye base. I really liked using that, and then topping the next shade we're going to talk about on top of it. Was shocked I hit pan in it as quick as I did. I knew I could hit pan quickly. I didn't expect it to be as quick as it was. I rolled in this single here, which is, I'm not showing you what it is because I want to show you the clips of them. I rolled in this shade here, which is the shade 20 something from Colourpop. It definitely had a dip when we rolled it in, and I knew I wanted something that I could make happen. And look at that, guys. I made it happen. I'm so darn proud of myself. So happy that I hit pan in this guy. I ended up really enjoying this paired on top of that last shade we just talked about, Calm by Natasha Denona. It looked so good together. I really loved it. And then I liked pairing both of those and blending it out with the next shade we're going to talk about, which is a matte orange. I really enjoyed it. I really liked wearing this. Then the last shade we were working on comes from this guy here. This is my Sugarpill Fun Size palette. This is the OG Fun Size palette. This palette is very unused in my collection. I definitely have been reaching for it more now, clearly, but I ended up shooting from the hip and rolling in the matte orange shade called High Score. And it is basically an untouched shade when I rolled it into this project. And here's what we're looking like today. We are basically still untouched. I think this palette is just going to be so hard to hit pan in. The shade I have the most use already in is going to be this shade up here called 8-Bit, because I like to layer a shade like this in an eyeliner on, then I put this on top of it, and then I put more beautiful periwinkles with like incredible shifts on top of it, and it looks just so good, but I didn't pick that shade because I'm not super familiar with this palette. I think what my gut is telling me is to just roll this out of the project because I don't really feel a deep desire to want to hit pan in any of these shades. Not because I can't. I think it's going to take a long time to. And I don't want to dedicate, I think, the amount of time I'm going to need to do it right now. So I'm going to roll this palette out, but I'm really happy that I've actually done a no pan left behind on this. So I'm feeling super content with putting this back. So that means we get 3 new items to roll into this project. Okay, so I'm pretty confident that one of the shades that we're rolling out were from Lainey's prompt list. So I am going to generate 2 from just like selecting my palettes. And then the last one, we're going to do the generation from Lainey's prompt list. All right, so I have swatched out the 2 shades that are sticking in this project right now. We have on the top up closest to my knuckles, so that is Coolada, and then the shade right below it is the shade Sweet Dreams from the Sugar Dreams palette. I think I cleared the Natasha Denona Zendo palette from this, but if I didn't, we'll re-roll at that point. So we have two that we're going to select this way. So just click that a bunch of times and then let it rip. Oh my gosh, I already know what I'm going to pull. Oh my goodness, and it's already right in front of me. So the second thing that we're going to pull is going to be from I think we already had that in. I think it might have been a different project. I think I had that in a different project. So I'm going to roll in something from Bare Minerals also. So I will grab that in a moment. But we need to do Lainey's prompt list also. So I have Lainey's prompt list up now. I have it on a Tiny Decisions wheel from the Tiny Decisions app. So I click that little list a bunch of times. Oh, Lord. The brown shimmer. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go select a brown shimmer, a dandelion single, and a Bare Minerals single, and I'll be right back. I have a dog who really wants to go outside and play under my desk, so I'm going to have to just breeze through my selections real quick. I did this so unbelievably fast. I am so proud of myself. Picking something from my Dandelions Cosmetics singles. This was a no-brainer for me. I have already had this in my BYOP that I put together a week ago at this point. This shade has been in for about a month and a half at this point, just because I've been really wanting to gravitate towards it. So this is the Dandelions Cosmetics shade in, ooh, oh my gosh, Steph Lyons, you may kill me. I want to say it's Anya. I'm not 100% sure. Sorry if I'm butchered that, but this is the shade that I have on my inner corners today, topped with another shade that's a little bit brighter. But I've really been gravitating towards this. I already have a little bit of a dip in there. I'm going to hit pan in that sucker. I should have that done by next month. Place your wagers in the comments below of how long you think that's going to take me. I want to say maybe 12. That's my guess. All right, so to start this guy here, that is the shade Anya. On the next selection that we pulled from my like random selection of palettes and singles was something from Bare Minerals. And I don't have that many singles left from Bare Minerals. They were never singles. They were all depotted from other palettes. I repanned them into circle pans. And I have hit pan on everything except for one shade, at least. I think this is the only shade in my collection anymore that doesn't have pan from Bare Minerals. And I like the shade, so I'm not mad that I get to reach for it. But this is the shade kismet. And this was from a Bare Minerals duo. Oh my gosh, I can't remember what it was called. Maybe. But that is kismet there. I can use it very similarly to what I'm doing right now. The last thing that we need to talk about, though, is my pick for my Lainey prompt. And that was for a brown shimmer. And I didn't want to pick another single, very honestly. So I kind of just like very quickly looked at my collection, looked at a palette that I haven't really reached for much, and figured what an excuse to use this. This is a pretty neutral palette from Adept Cosmetics. This is the Minka palette. And oh my gosh, it's unbelievably beautiful. I swatched the shade that I'm going to pick and I'm so excited about it. So I'm going to go with Layla. That's unbelievably pretty still. Oh, so pretty. But Layla, this guy here, I've swatched it a couple times. I have not put it on my eyes. I'm so excited to do it. And I really want to like play with the whole palette while I have it out. And this is a good excuse to do that. So I'm super excited. Maybe I should swatch Layla with the rest of the colors so you can see the color story in action. Oh my gosh. That with Kismet is going to be so perfect. Oh, like, can we just? That's going to be incredible. And I'm so excited that I get to put that on my eyeballs. But that is it for this update. Let me know what you think I can hit pan on by next update. I'm wagering I'm going to have 3 rollouts, 3 to 4 rollouts next month. I don't think Coolada. I think Coolada is going to be in it for the long haul. I think that she is going to be in till probably September. But everything else, I feel like I could totally hit pan on. That is it for this update. I am unbelievably excited to work on this color story. I think that the colors are going to go great together. I can wear them separately. I can create their own independent looks with them. So it's going to feel like I'm working with a lot, actually, when I'm working with not that much. But that is it for this video. Let me know how you're doing in your project pans this year. Let me know if you're doing a Pan Those eyeshadows or did you just stick to Pan That palette. I'm feeling a little bit like remorseful that I'm not doing a Pan That palette, especially since I've been seeing so many great people doing so much great progress in their Pan That palettes this year. Thank you guys so much for watching, for sticking with it. Let me know again how you're doing in your projects. But until the next video, I hope you guys are staying healthy, sane, and safe. And I'll catch you in the next video. Bye. Oh yeah.